Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be doing my way too early Washington Commanders 53-man roster projection, some surprise cuts, some surprise guys that make it, maybe some undrafted free agents, so stay tuned for that. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well so you never miss a video, and comment down below a surprise cut you could see happening. And two things before we start. I am pre-recording this video, so I'm recording this right now on June 23rd around 2 p.m. for, I'm going to be a little bit busy on vacation and stuff. Also, this is the second time I'm recording. First time my computer gave out on me, or maybe it was the editing software, whatever. So might go a little bit quicker than I did the first time. Let's get right into it. So this is way too early, so I'm not going to be as advanced and as locked in as I usually try to be with these, and have like more of a science, like, okay, how many receivers does this regime usually take, how many running backs, since it's so early and we don't even know how these guys have looked in training camps yet. I'm just gonna go ahead and start. It also does not show the total number of players here, so I might have to cut at some point and just count. So Mason Brooks had a good offseason last year, or at least at times people thought maybe he's going to make it, but I'm going to release him. A lot of these guys are practice squad candidates. Norrell Pollard, Virginia Tech. Hokie played there. It sucks, but that I have to do it, that I'm releasing him. But I'm not actually, but you know what I mean. But maybe he'll make the practice squad. It would be great if he made it. Austin Jones, another undrafted free agent. We're just going through the easier guys first. I would love for an undrafted free agent to make it. Colson Yankoff, the name's interesting, but he's not making it. At least I don't think so. Ben Nickel, AJ Woods. We're just going through the easy ones first. Tyler Owens. I could see Marcus Rosemary-Jackson make it. A spoiler alert in my or I guess it's not, because you're not going to see that one. But in the video I was doing before this this same video, but I guess I'm just re-recording right now. He was one of the last guys that I was deciding if they were going to make it or not. Michael Wiley, undrafted, free agent running back. Don't think he's going to make it. Chigo, he has a chance at cornerback, so I'll wait. I think I cut him a little bit too early in my previous video. Benning P, he's a guy from the previous regime. He's not making it. At least I don't think so. Very deep group. Keandre Jones, this is, he's from this regime, but I just don't think he's going to make it. Same thing with Jalen Harris. We're going to go rapid fire here with some of these guys. Julian Good-Jones, don't think he's going to make it. Alex Akimbulu, he is a guy from the previous regime. Tackle, they're a little thin maybe at tackle, but I don't think he's going to make it. First kind of big name that I'm going to cut, Mitchell Tinsley. Previous regime guy. They brought in a bunch of their own receivers. They brought in Luke McCaffrey. He's obviously going to make it. They brought in Zacchaeus, whatever, the guy from UVA that played with the Falcons and the Eagles. They brought in Demir Bird. Like, they brought in, and they re-signed Crowder. So a lot of guys. I think it's going to be hard for Mitchell Tinsley, and they also signed some undrafted free agent receivers. I think it's going to be tough for him to make it. So he's going to be off the roster for me. We're going to go Andre Jones. There's just a lot of DNs that they brought in. I really like him, but there's a lot of DNs that they brought in. Dante Fowler, Clelin Ferrell, Dorrance Armstrong, Javonte Jean-Baptist. Like, that right there is 4 that they just brought in. And they did lose guys as well. They also, though, might be moving Jamin Davis more to that edge rusher role. So just a lot of guys that they brought in. I just think it's going to be tough for Andre Jones to make it. Davion Davis had a good mini camp from what I've heard. Practice squad guy, in my opinion. Tariq Castro Fields, he's a sleeper maybe to make it, just because I believe the 49ers drafted him, so maybe Adam Peters really liked him. I don't know. Maybe Martin Mayhew as well, but I think he was already here by the time that happened. Jeremy McNichols, I think they have enough running backs with Eckler, Brian Robinson, and then Chris Rodriguez. So I'm going to move on from him. Jeff Driscoll, he has a shot to make it if Sam Hartman doesn't look good, but I think ideally they want to keep Hartman. The chemistry between Hartman and Daniels has been there, and he's a younger guy. So I think ideally they want to keep him. Armani Rogers has a shot. He's going to be competing really with Cole Turner and John Bates. even though they're all kind of different tight ends. I'm going to move on from Armani Rogers. I think John Bates, there's a shot he gets cut. Would be a little bit of a surprise cut, but I'll say they keep him for now. Dax Milne, he's going to be gone. He hasn't done a ton. They got a bunch of receivers here, so he'll be gone. James Pierre, cornerback, I believe they signed him in free agency this year. He's going to be gone. First surprise cut. Let's go Percy Butler. It sucks because I do like him, and I like Derek Force as well. I'm not cutting Derek Force, but I think one of those guys might be gone. And if Percy Butler doesn't take a huge leap, he's behind Derek. I mean, I really like Derek. And I do like Percy Butler as well, but they brought in their own guys. It's just, Mike Sanderstill's here. They brought in Jeremy Chin. You have, Quan Martin. I just don't know if there's a real shot for him to get PT. If he's a stud in special teams, then maybe. But for now, we're releasing him. It's tough, but he's a previous regime guy, and that's really what it comes down to a lot of the time. A lot of times with these, decisions for these front offices. Trent Scott, another previous regime guy. So we're getting down here. There's not a ton of guys that we have to cut left. All these top guys are making it. Maybe I could see if Clelin Ferrell looks bad, or maybe Dante Fowler, they cut one of them and keep some other guy. But yeah, for now, it's looking like those guys are sticking on the squad. Let's move down the list. Ricky Stromberg, he'll have to show up in training camp and do his thing, but I think he's going to make it. Zacchaeus, I'm going to stick with him. F.A. Obata, just a lot of edge rushers, man. I think it's going to be tough for him to really get PT edge rusher. And it's just a bad injury that he had to deal with. We'll move on from Chris Paul. They brought in Nick Allegretti, Tyler Biotish. So they bring in some guards, and they sign some as well, other kind of like veteran type guys that could compete. I think would make it over him as well. So we're gonna move on from Chris Paul. Christian Holmes, that's my guy. I met him at training camp. He's a really cool guy. Was trying to get him on the show at some point, but yeah, super nice guy. He's been a good a good special teams guy, but previous regime guy. It's gonna be tough for him to make it. I'm gonna also cut Demir Bird. I'm gonna stick with Zacchaeus as the veteran receiver. Let's see. Casimir Allen, same thing. I'm going to stick with Zacchaeus and then Jameson Crowder as the two veteran back end of the roster guys. And I think that, Zacchaeus has gotten some PT recently with the Eagles and the Falcons and has been somewhat of a contributor. So we're going to go ahead and keep him, and Bird could make it. It's going to be a big battle for who is the returner. So real quick, let's look at the cornerbacks, how many cornerbacks they got on the squad here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Quan might be more of a safety, but they're not going to keep 6 cornerbacks. Again, the secondary is pretty crowded. We'll go ahead and release Chig, but he's a very, prime practice squad candidate for the Washington Commanders. So right now, we're getting down to the last, few guys that we're going to have to cut. I'm going to go ahead and count the guys here, and then we'll come back in a few seconds. All right, so we got to, cut 2 more guys. So we're going to go ahead, cut Michael Walker. I know it might be a little bit controversial there. It's just really hard to tell right now when, we didn't hear much about these guys. I feel like we were given less information than usual at OTAs and minicamp, and, we got information on the top guys, but the mid-tier to lower tier guys on the roster, barely any information. So I have no idea how he looked. So they already got a few other they got Bobby Wagner, Jamin Davis, Frankie Louvu. Those 3 are making it. You got Anthony Pittman as well, Jordan McGee. So, and it's transitioning the league to more of 2 linebacker sets. So it's going to be hard for him to make it. Anthony Pittman, I'm going to have him making it over Michael Walker, but maybe it changes. And the other guy that I wanted to cut is a veteran. Let's see, where is he? Is he up on this? It's Michael Dieter. Just trying to find him on this list. Where is he? Wherever he is, I'm cutting him. Why is it not letting me? There we go, Michael Dieter. So we're going to cut him, and that gets us down to 53 players for the Washington Commanders. Some surprise cuts that I could see happening that I didn't make. Maybe Dyami Brown. I think he's going to make it, though. But if it was a more competitive receiver room, a little bit deeper, then I could see them moving on from him, but it's not, so I think he's going to make it. Again, I talked about Derek Forrest and Percy Butler. Percy Butler was maybe my only surprise cut. Kept Braden Daniels on the roster, but that's really based off potential, but it's a previous regime guy, so if he's not looking good, Michael Dieter could make it over him, or Chris Paul, any of those guys. So that's a tentative one, but we'll definitely know. I feel like we'll know if he's going to make the roster or not relatively early on in training camp, based off where they have him. And or honestly, maybe we won't know if he's going to make it, but we'll know if he has a chance or not. Because if he's starting off the training camp and after 1 week he's still the third or fourth string guy at guard, then he's not making it. But if they're giving him a chance and he's looking good, then he's obviously got a chance. But that's it for today's video. If you guys stayed till the end, go ahead and comment down below Rex Grossman. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.